Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. After you guys seem to really enjoy my first 10 Easter eggs and secrets hidden within GT7 video, I thought, well, why not just do a follow-up. So if you've watched my first list and you end up watching this one and think, well, you've missed this Easter egg or secret, go ahead and put them in the comments down below and I'll do my best to go ahead and check it out for a future video. So without further ado, let's get into it. 10 more amazing Easter eggs and secrets inside GT7. Up first is Unofficial JGTC cars. By this I'm referring to the special event, the All Japan Grand Touring Championship. Whilst it isn't currently in game this week, I'm sure we'll see it return again soon. It pitted some official JGTC legends up against some unofficial ones in a sense. Whilst they looked like the real deal, things like the Denso Supra and the Calsonic R34 GTR Skyline, they had a few slight changes on them to ensure that they looked the part, but avoided what I'm assuming can either be copyright or car licensing restrictions. This was an old trick used by Polyphony when it came to racing modified vehicles in GT1 and GT2, where they would pretty much look like the real thing. However, on closer inspection, a few livery changes and they'd gotten away with it. It was great to see them do this in 2024. So next time we see the All JGTC Championship reappear in the special events, keep your eyes peeled for those unofficial official cars. In at number 2 is the Spoon Civic. This was kind of secretly added alongside a bug fix update. It's the official Super Take-You livery for the Honda Civic FL5, again made in collaboration with Gran Turismo and officially released by Spoon Sports themselves. Going to showcase country and region Japan, make a Honda and go down to the Type R FL5 2022 Civic. Then in the keywords, go ahead and type Spoon. After that, go on to content search and you'll notice on the second livery in, the official upload by Spoon Sports themselves, the 2024 Super Take-You Spoon Sports Civic Type R. Awesome to see this one and great to see those legendary Spoon colours back and I guess a semi-official capacity. Absolutely awesome, a really cool little secret livery fully uploaded by Spoon themselves. Hopefully we see more of these legends in the future. Time for an original day one Easter egg, the SpaceX launch. Now this one is fairly quite easy to find. You want to head into World Circuits. Once you've loaded up, you're then going to head into Americas, and of course we're looking for Daytona International Speedway. I believe that the launch pad for the shuttle launchers is pretty near to Daytona itself. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure geographically it's pretty correct. Head over to road course. Now the best way to see it is set it to evening with fine weather during a time trial. As soon as you're in time trial, you want to head over to turn 1. In a blink and you'll miss it kind of situation, you may notice one of the SpaceX shuttles actually launching up into space. Now the key thing here is that it does seem to launch all the time in time trial, pretty much instantly, so you need to be as quick as possible to get towards turn 1 to actually see it launch. However, you aren't done there just yet. If you actually wait around, you can see the boosters coming back down and landing. So after the launch, you just want to sit on the runoff area of turn 1 and just sit around for a few minutes. Then you may notice that the boosters will come down and start landing back to the ground. The best way to actually see all of this take place is during the replay mode. So even if you do slightly miss it from the car itself and in-game, you can just go ahead and view it in the replay feature. Upon zooming in, you'll notice that this is the SpaceX shuttle going ahead and launching, and then the boosters coming back down, which does take a little longer than the actual launch itself. In at number 4 is a nod to the Queen of the Nordschleife herself. Of course, I'm talking about Sabine Schmitz, who unfortunately passed away in 2021 at age 51 of cancer. To see this one, of course, we're going to head over to the Nordschleife itself. The best way to do this is boot up a time trial and head to the standard Nordschleife layout. At this point, when you start the start finish line, go across there and head over to this Yokohama sign. Once there, look to your right, and just above it, we can see that it's finally been updated to Sabine Schmitz curve. A nice little nod to the Queen of the Nürburgring herself. Props to Polyphony for not just dragging this one over from GT Sport and actually going ahead and taking the time to get things like this updated. If you're from the UK, you'll mainly fondly remember her from the episode featuring the van and the Jaguar of Top Gear with Jeremy Clarkson. Anyway, rest in peace to the Queen of the Nürburgring. From the Queen of the Nordschleife to the Kentucky Kid, of course I'm talking about the MotoGP champion Nicky Hayden and his little memorial over at Laguna Seca. Head over to World Circuits, head into Americas, and of course find Laguna Seca. It's just here as you load up the Americas map. The best way to find this is go into time trial, as it will pretty much be right there once you are let off to be able to start your lap. Head over to the right and take a look, and you'll see that the real world memorial featuring his number 69 is all well and there in GT7. Another class little memorial, and something that I'm glad Polyphony actually managed to take the time to put in their game. Another case in motorsports where it's gone too soon. Nicky Hayden unfortunately passed away at only age 35 after a cycle accident in Italy. Rest in peace, Kentucky Kid. So in the first Easter egg videos I showcased some cats and of course some kangaroos at Bathurst. But of course this isn't the only animal in Gran Turismo. In fact, these games are pretty well known for having animals scattered pretty much all around. Next up, and one of the lesser known ones, is actually a bunch of goats over at Deep Forest. Go into Europe, boot up Deep Forest and head over to this section here with the bridge that is going over the small little creek or river. If you look out towards your left and right hand side at this point, you'll notice a few separate instances of goats. Over to the right hand side on the top of the sort of cliff or hill here, you'll notice two goats deciding to have it away and start fighting with each other like they're at a pub on a Friday night. A little further down the road on the left hand side, and you'll notice this is where the majority of them actually are, in the rocks. Now I know there's probably an official name for these goats, so feel free to leave that down below, but I'm just going to call them goats for the sake of it. So as you can see, there's a bunch of them in photo mode here, which is the best place to go ahead and see all of these goats just getting on with the day. So of course this wouldn't be an Easter egg video without more animal Easter eggs, and well, this one I don't think I've really ever seen any coverage of. So at first I assumed that these were honey badgers, but it turns out a quick Google search and these are actually Japanese badgers that do actually have an official Japanese name, but there's no way I'm going to butcher that pronunciation. Head into World Circuits, head over to Asia and head into Autopolis. Again, the quickest and easiest way to do this is go ahead into a time trial. It doesn't matter whether you're on the short or long layout, what you're looking for is this section here around about turn 3 and 4. Once you head over to the left before the big sort of right hand hairpin, head towards the left hand barrier and look for a little gap in it. As you can see, they're already there. We actually have two Japanese badgers just munching away on some grass. I did assume that there probably should be more of these scattered around the track, but no matter where I looked, I just couldn't find any. I even went into photo mode and started zooming in at really small things to see if there was any more instances of these Japanese badgers. So if you guys do go ahead and try and find these guys, let me know if you could actually find any more of these scattered around the track. I had no such luck, but who knows, maybe there's a well-placed Japanese badger just hiding somewhere in plain sight in Autopolis. So there we go, one staring directly into your soul and the other is just munching away on some grass. I did hear there's rumours of a squirrel in GT7 somewhere, but I've never ever been able to find it. Do let me know if you know anything about the squirrel in GT7 in the comments below. At number 8 is going to be the Snowman, which is actually hidden on our latest track edition, Lake Louise. So to get this one to work, you want to head into Americas, go over to Canada and, well, of course, Lake Louise. Again, best way to get this up is in a time trial. Just ensure that you've got snow tires and then head over to the long track. The best way to see it is, of course, going to be at daytime. Go over to the sort of hospitality area with all the lodges and, you know, hotel looking things. At this point, you then want to go into the replay theatre, pan the camera up and head over towards the entrance to what looks to be a lodge or hotel. And you'll notice a little snowman with a little top hat on and a carrot nose. So this appears to be part 2 of a 2-part Easter egg. If you remember from the previous video, the first ever UFO on Mount Panorama or Bathurst took away a cow and abducted him. And it turns out a year later, Polyphony will continue this Easter egg over at, of course, Grand Valley Highway 1. When this track was launched, we finally found out what happened to our good friend the cow that got abducted by aliens. Again, the best way to do this is head into time trial and keep your eye out at turn 1. On this sort of overpassy area, you want to then go into replay mode and boot up your photo mode. Zooming in just down below in a sort of crevice between the two hills, you'll notice that the cow did actually return and ended up all the way from Australia to Grand Valley in America. As we can see, he sat just at the bottom with a very mysterious mural from a UFO. Pretty funny to see this one. Turns out though, a cow just wasn't enough for the UFO. So whilst the cow did actually return and get dropped off over at Grand Valley, it turns out that the UFO was still over in that location after dropping the cow. And well, a cow just wasn't enough. Next up, of course, well, they had to go for an otter. So while the cow may have returned, it turns out that the UFO was still in the vicinity. The place you want to see this is just after the tunnel, after the bridge. Around this area you'll see a bunch of parking spots. Just sit and wait around 20 minutes and a UFO will appear. Upon zooming in, we can see that it does end up taking another animal. This time it's going to be a poor little otter who looks a bit shaken up by his experience. We're yet to see a conclusion of this Easter egg, but I wonder where the otter will end up. It's pretty cool to see that this is a continuing Easter egg that started all the way back at launch, and then in 2023 with Grand Valley, and well, I wonder what we'll see of the otter and where he ends up in a future update. Honestly, Polyphony, please continue this Easter egg. It's rather quite fascinating at this point. A year and a half down the line since this Easter egg got included, we still don't know what happened to this poor otter. I can only assume that it'll probably end up in maybe Canada or Japan sometime in the near future. Anyway guys, that's it for part 2 of my 10 Easter eggs and secrets in Gran Turismo 7 series. I'm hoping that as we go through over time we can build up a compilation of every single Easter egg in Gran Turismo 7 and then move on to some of the classic releases as well. If there's anything I've missed from the first 2 videos, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Whilst I do know the majority of the Easter eggs in this game, there is some that I may either not know or may have just completely forgotten over the years. So if there's anything I have missed, be sure to put them in the comments, and if there's an Easter egg you found that nobody else seems to know about, or a secret cars, liveries, anything like that, make sure to pop them in the comments below. Anyway, wherever you may be, have a fantastic rest of your day or night. Take care guys, peace.